Sorry.
You make it in
There
all
you
right on the ice?
Yeah, it was interesting. We're all
Mhm.
here.
go. That
Do you,
has to be treacherous down with that going down that hill by your house.
Yeah, I went pretty slow on that, but just getting to the car, and because it was all iced, and it's on a little bit of a hill,
Oh yeah.
because I had to chop the ice off so I
hey,
could even see.
hey, Fran, a quick question just on travel and do you have any like harrowing stories of travel in bad weather, being up in Siena and everything and Lehigh over the years? I mean, you've probably had some interesting travel adventures, bad weather.
Yeah, we had times when we couldn't come back. We had to stay over. That happened when I was at Notre Dame, and then I remember at Greensboro, we were on our way back from, I think it was Johnson City, and I finally said, "Let's go. Let's get a hotel." Our bus driver was awesome, but it was too much. In those days, it was a lot of bus trips. So you crawled back or you stayed over. But even with the planes, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, do we ever, like, I don't ever remember us not being able to get where we need to go. Uh, I do remember we were supposed to play Villanova when I was at Notre Dame at home. They were here, but the refs couldn't get here, so we canceled the game because we had no refs. But nothing too bad.
Have, have you been in touch with New Orleans to make sure that they're able to make it today?
I have not. Uh, I don't know if I haven't heard anything from our administration.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing, because depending upon when you decide to leave, or do you have to then, fly to Chicago and
My boss.
drive over, or stay over and then drive in, go halfway, whatever. Uh, I'm sure that they're going through that process.
And you were mentioning UNCG. As someone from North Carolina, I can confirm that they have no idea how to deal with the ice and snow down there.
Well, you know what? We talk about that and we laugh about it, and they buy out the supermarket. But the truth of the matter is, they don't have the salt trucks and the snow removal equipment that we have up here. So they kind of sit around and wait for it to melt. And sometimes it takes a while, but it doesn't happen a lot. So people down there, like, they sometimes don't drive as safely. They kind of drive the same way because it doesn't look bad. And then you can slip and slide. You know, one of my players flipped his car one time down there, gone down a hill. I mean, he was fine, but that's scary because you could not be fine.
Hmm.
He was just driving the same speed. You can't. You got to wait. You got to be patient at lights. Make sure people stop. And if you don't, like, we're used to it up here, but if you don't see it much, it's different. When you put your brakes on, that kind of stuff.
Hey, Fran, you started Drew last game. Did you get what you hoped you were going to get from that? And are you going to continue to start him this week?
I'll continue to start him. I thought he was great. I thought Logi was great. I went with a group that was really playing well, and I stuck with them. My intention was to play Price more, and I did him a disservice. He deserves it. He was terrific against Michigan. And I wanted to try to get Coop in, even though he practiced only twice. So he's ready to go. I want to try to get him more playing time.
What have you seen just with Cooper behind the scenes, him coming back? How has he kind of just looked in his return to play?
He looked pretty good. He really has. He's looked pretty good. Uh, it's hard to say until you get him out there in a game, but I mean, he looked pretty close to 100% to me.
Do you have to kind of sit down with Price after Thursday night and just kind of say, "Hey, that's
Yeah, I did. you get into a game, you're coming down the stretch, and that lineup was working, so I didn't go to my bench really much at all. Had to go with another big because Owen got tired a couple times because he was really running, and Lodgy was playing really well. And so I went with a short bench for that game. I told him that he deserves more playing time with the way he's played, and he'll get it.
Is with the defensive rebounding, are you seeing, are guys not in good enough position? Is it effort? What do you see as kind of the biggest issue there?
Yeah, we're giving, you can go small, but then you give up rebounding. Our guys are boxing out. They're in there fighting. That's a big team. They're a big physical team. They got some second shots. We had a couple rebounds that we turned over on the outlet. Our only 2 turnovers in the second half were when we did get the rebound and outletted it. Brock got poked, and Peyton threw it to Brock, and it hit his hand and bounced, and then they hit it, got it back. So, you can. It's one of the reasons why your teams play small to get more shooters, more drivers, and then teams don't play small to get more rebounding. So unfortunately, it really hurt us in that game. But with the way they do such a great job of turning teams over, they only have 2 turnovers in the second half. Typically, gives you a good shot.
How did Sadhu come out of Thursday night? I know that's always a challenge coming off the ankle that first game back.
Yeah, he just has to get back into understanding what we need from him. He's still young. He's only a sophomore, but he also wasn't here as a freshman. So he relied on his instincts and made some really good plays. I was very, very impressed with that. He made a couple mistakes game plan wise because he's not been out there. It's not because he didn't want to. That will come. And when it does, I think he's got a chance to be really special.
Is the going with the smaller versus bigger lineups, is that something, I guess, is that a game by game thing based on matchups that you might kind of decide on?
I think it'll be a game by game thing as the game goes on. It may not necessarily change the starting lineup, but it'll change throughout the course of the game potentially. I've got some other weapons on the bench. I could have put, I think Riley would have been good. Chris Tajo's, one of the best rebounders we have. If I put him in, he would rebound. He struggles at the other end, knowing exactly what we want. Again, that will come. He's going to be terrific. But if I just want rebounding, I can put him in, and trust me, he'll rebound.
How much of a challenge in the next 2 weeks, just from a practice perspective? You got finals week coming up this week, and then you got the holiday week right after it, and send some guys home.
Yeah, I always think that's good, though, Tom. I mean, it's a long season. We start practice in June. This year some of them got to go home for Thanksgiving. Normally we don't. Normally we're in a tournament. So families want to be together at Christmas, so we usually try to make sure that happens. There are very few, as you know, Christmas tournaments anymore. There are some. We don't plan on going to any. So, we'll just keep them sharp, get them healthy, and, get them ready for in the game after Christmas, obviously for tomorrow, but then for the one after Christmas and the one before Christmas, obviously Utah. Be a great opportunity for our fans up in that part of the state.
Health wise, for the guys that have been playing through stuff, Josh and Peyton, do you feel like, are they at least moving in the right direction in how they're feeling?
I think they both feel really good. Neither of them complains at all. Sometimes you have guys that have injuries and they linger and they become obsessed with it, and they're constantly with the trainer, and you got to be careful because it can be really hurt. Like, I stay out of it, and I trust we have a great trainer, Brad Floyd, Dr. Marcuson. Those guys are on top of it. But then you have guys like these two that, could be really hurt. They won't say anything. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm playing. And you got to respect that. And clearly the decision was made that they're not going to risk any further injury. They have to deal with discomfort. And that's never great for an athlete. You know, you want to kind of be at 100% when you're out there. And clearly they weren't against Utah State. But I think the two of them have been pretty good since. Yeah.
Last one from me. Do you have an MTE for next year scheduled yet?
I think we're really close. I know that Al's been talking to two different ones. I don't know which one we finalized, but we'll be in one next year. Yeah.
I
Last
guess
one, Tyler.
just what do you know about New Orleans and kind of what they present?
I've been impressed with them. I mean, the guy gets the job late. He's got to put a team together. I mean, they went on the road at Tulane in overtime. They play together. They're organized. They're quick and athletic. They're not big, but their big guys compete. He's got one guy got hurt. He's got a freshman that's playing really well. Got a guy averaging like 20 points. White. He's tremendous. So it'll be a good challenge for us.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Fran.
Thanks, Fran.